Hello YouTube, this is Morgan, Airspeed Prime here with my next Avatar news update video. So just some, I think 2 pieces of news to talk about here. I will start with this one, the kind of more, I suppose, kind of tragic news here, and that is that Anne Hesh, who Avatar Korra fans will know primarily as the voice of Suyin Beifong, has died. There's news about this pretty consistently over the last couple of days, weekish. The reason I didn't cover it was because it felt like there was a report almost every day that she had been taken off life support here, and I think only just last night I think it was properly confirmed. So that's why I waited to cover this until it was all clearly out there. Now I don't want to go into this in any particular depth and start discussing the scenarios surrounding it and stuff like that, but obviously basically car crash here, on life support for a certain amount of time, because it was her wishes that I think she wanted her organs to be donated, and that's I think a large part of why she was on life support for so long, until they kind of sorted that out. It's obviously these are never good things to see happen, and in a way it's interesting because I think in all these years of covering Avatar and YouTube, I think this is the first death of a cast member that I've covered. I don't remember any from the last couple of years, so this is the first time this has kind of really come up for me. So obviously because we sort of know we'll get more Korra content down the road, you sort of wonder oh, what does this mean for that? I think with regards to that, we're probably going to just in general have to get used to there being a lot of recasting. Obviously we hope that a lot of it isn't because of tragic circumstances like this, but I think there has been information that potentially suggests that we probably will have some recastings coming up, and this is one that is sort of just happened here because it's been enforced, unfortunately. So it's again, like I said, I don't want to linger on this too much, but I didn't want to just not cover it. So we will move on from here to this. So basically new Avatar video game, it seems, but it's a weird piece of information because there is basically no proper details about what this actually is. It may look like there's a full product listing here, but it really doesn't have any of the actual information here, because the main thing that's here is Avatar: The Last Airbender Quest for Balance. Now, interestingly, what's listed here is a PS4 game, which is fine. They still release games on PS4 and Xbox One, of course, because I suppose we're just at a point now where sort of it's just sort of a power thing rather than a platform thing necessarily with a lot of these kind of things. Interestingly, one of the only other pieces of information we get is sort of that the publisher is Game Mill, who have been doing some of the recent Avatar games, the All-Star, Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl, I think is also a game published by Game Mill, which I know a lot of people will see that and be like, well, that doesn't speak very highly of the quality of the game. But obviously we don't know who the developer is, because obviously this is a publisher-developer situation, and we don't know the situation at all. As you go through here, I don't really think any of this is actual information about the game, but then it has this sort of chart here that seems to suggest what platforms it's going to be on, which makes it seem even weirder, because if you look through this, the way that this, I guess you have to interpret this, I think, is that the circle means yes, X means no, and then the other X means that I think it's sort of undecided, or they're not sure about the release or whatever. But this would mean that this game is coming out on PS5, 4, 3, the PS Vita, the PSP, the Nintendo Switch, the original DS, but not the 3DS, Wii U listed twice, and it's not on that, of course, and then out on all of the Xboxes, basically, obviously only going back to the 360, but it will only release on the 360 in I think that's East Asian regions. I think there's that middle section. I don't know what the deal is here, because the biggest one for me that makes this just seem baffling is the idea that wait. original DS game in 2022? What? Even if it was 3DS, I'd be still surprised if that was actually the case. Like, I know for, like, say this is a Japanese listing, I don't follow this stuff like crazy in detail. So like I understand the idea of like, oh, it'll get a Vita release, even though that's a relatively old system. But even then, PSP, does it still get releases? I don't even know in Japan if it does or not. So some weird stuff going on here. I think the main thing for people here is probably just to highlight that it seems like at least it'll be on the PlayStation family of consoles, and for sure on Switch is what it seems to be. Other than that, like you can see, it says here, release date is apparently November 8th, so we've heard basically nothing about this game apart from the fact that I think like Avatar News has mentioned somewhat recently that like there are a lot of Avatar video games in development, including one that sort of is like meant to be announced this year. So this likely means that. It says rated like 15 years and over. I don't really know if that necessarily is the case or not, because again, there's no details here about what it is, like what genre of game it is, and so on. Quest for Balance, like it's a pretty general tagline. It says ATLA specifically. When I first saw this, before I looked into it like at all, and I just saw sort of this game name, Game Mill, and the fact that people were like, I don't know about this. I thought that, oh, is it finally happening that they're doing that re-release of the old ATLA games that they said they would do back in like 2018? I think THQ Nordic mentioned that they would re-release, say, like, what's it called? There's the original ATLA game, there's ATLA Burning Earth, and then there's ATLA Into the Inferno. I thought that this was maybe like Quest for Balance is like those three games under one title, because it looks like it's going to be probably some sort of a like ATLA adaptation thing, which is probably why this maybe isn't the hype game that we were looking for, but we'll have to wait and see. That's what it seems like it is, just the fact that they specifically, it's Avatar The Last Airbender and not like Avatar Legends, Avatar Generations, or just Avatar. ATLA means it's leaning towards the show itself. So that would, if it's out in November, that means they're going to have to announce this within the coming weeks so that people know what it is. I don't know, it's something to look forward to. Obviously, there's a bit of excitement surrounding the whole Avatar Generations thing, the mobile app, and the mobile game that's coming out. And now we seem to be getting our first information about the console game. You know, again, depending on what it is, I probably will get it, and like it'll be something I can do and play on the channel. But without knowing what it is, it's very difficult to talk about it like at all. So just keep an eye out for Quest for Balance in relation to Avatar, but there's nothing out at the moment about it. I don't think there's been any official statement made. Interestingly, it has been a popular enough sort of like reveal in a way that like I think there are articles on like IGN and stuff about it, so it's not just like a low-key thing that just a few fans have found and it's been kept within the fandom. No, it has gone sort of wider release in terms of like everyone sort of being aware of this. So because yeah, something like this is going to highlight how popular Avatar is, that video games are super popular, Avatar is super popular, so a new Avatar video game is going to get people's attention. So just keep an eye out for that. But other than that, that has been the video. Thanks for watching, and bye.